3 years ago, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, and Doug Peterson released his book titled Fearless. Now, his biggest fear is whether he'll be able to coach in the NFL again or not. Did the Eagles make the right decision firing Doug Peterson? Darian, let me know.
I'm gonna start off. And last week we discussed him benching Jalen Hurts, and I went on this whole tirade about how Philadelphia doesn't tank and all of these things. And so I won't rehash everything. Y'all go back and check out that last video about it for real because it was great content. But y'all, I talked about it. Mia wasn't there. Jamar was moderating. He didn't get to speak. So for me, it's kind of a same deal. You lost the locker room. Miles Sanders came out and he put his name on it. You heard so many people going back and forth talking about this is something that divided the whole locker room. Once you lose the locker room, I don't care if you won that Super Bowl. It's about, can you gain it back? And if you can't, there's no point in you being there. And I think that was the end of the story with Doug Pederson. He had a Super Bowl run, brought them their first championship, and that's a great story. But don't be taken prisoner by the moment, or taken prisoner by the past, rather. Let's look at the present moment. And for me, he lost that locker room. He couldn't do anything. And it was, do we go with a coach who doesn't have the locker room, or do we go with a quarterback who has talent? Well, if he can't gain the locker room back, I have more belief that Carson Wentz can live up to his talent than him gaining that locker room. So yeah, I do understand why they would pick Carson Wentz over Doug Peterson, even though I'm not really a fan of either one.
So for me, I think they got it right, but not necessarily for conventional reasons. I feel like as much of credit as we give Doug Peterson for the successes of the Eagles, he also takes blames in some of their shortcomings. But I also feel like Harry Roseman is to blame for a lot of it too. I feel like Doug Peterson should be in a situation where his hands are not as tied. And so with that, Harry Roseman is bad at drafting, for one. They have a messy situation with their cap situation. You extend Carson Wentz, overpaid Carson Wentz, I should say. And then you don't allow Doug Peterson to bring in a lot of the personnel that he wants to bring in on his coaching staff. And so with that situation, I feel like Doug Peterson needs to be in a better coaching situation where his hands are not necessarily as tied, and he can probably leave somebody else or become another offensive coordinator and help somebody else get to the promised land as they choose to.
I look at this situation and I'm like on both sides because I don't know how to feel as a Cowboys fan. I kind of like the dysfunction, but at the same time, I'm also looking at it if I was the owner of the Eagles. And as I look at it, I'm really on both sides because when I look at it, first of all, he did win them a championship. He did do all these great things. He was a fearless coach at times. You know, he did all these great things. Carson Wentz developed under him. But what I also look at is the benching of Jalen Hurts. He just emerged as a star in Philadelphia. Everybody has embraced him. He's playing well. Your play calling has gotten better with a mobile quarterback. And then you bench him when you still could get some more tape and some more development for him for the next season. And you know you're not playing Carson Wentz next year if you're Doug Peterson because that relationship is fractured by reports. So if I'm looking at that, I'm like, why would you do that, Doug Peterson? But at the same time, I look at the Eagles organization, and if you're looking at Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, if you get a new coach, you're basically saying Jalen Hurts, you're going to have to take another seat on the bench, even though you play so well. Because if I'm a coach coming in to the Eagles, and I believe I'm the greatest coach alive, I'm going to believe that a guy that was almost MVP for a season is going to rise to that occasion under me again. And so what I look at this situation as, I look at it as one, Carson Wentz was bad this season. He was bad. I don't care what type of people he had around him. He was a bad player this year. And I don't care what he used to be. And so when I look at that, I'm like, well, dang, what do you do? I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. I'm like, you deserve a spot. So does Jalen Hurts just get traded? Does Jalen Hurts just sit there and become a backup? Because I know Carson Wentz is going to get a shot now. I know the new coach is going to be like, okay, let's see what we got here. And Jalen Hurts already won the job. And so I think Doug Peterson maybe should have had another chance. But if the locker room, like Darren said, the locker room is against him, he's out of here. So if that's truly the case and it cannot be recovered, he's out of here. But the person I feel bad for the most is Jalen Hurts. And I don't feel bad for Carson Wentz regardless. He's getting an extra chance when he's not even the leader of the team, obviously, because they responded when Jalen Hurts became the starting quarterback. So it's a sticky situation as a Cowboys fan. In that perspective, I'm loving it. But honestly, I'm more afraid of Jalen Hurts as the quarterback of the Eagles than Carson Wentz the way he played this year.
I hear what you guys are saying. I want to first respond to why he benched Jalen Hurts. or Jalen Hurts, excuse me. Last week I came on there and I said, this was a move that you make when you know you're about to leave and you just like, forget it, I don't care anymore. I think he knew things were really that bad. And he said, screw it. Y'all don't let me do what I do. I'm going to do what I want to do.
No.
And that might have been a motivated push because we're looking at it. He obviously wanted to bench Jalen Hurts. Who I don't know who else made that call. I really don't think anybody else made that call. I think that it was one of those things where he finally emerged and said, all right, I'm going to take control into my own hands. But let's get into Jalen Hurts. I don't think the Eagles are that good of a team with Jalen Hurts next year. So I think that's something that needs to be dispelled. I understand he played well. I guess it didn't result in too many wins. You know, I don't think they're that good without him. I think he got one win. Like he got a win in his first game when he came out by surprise. Did he get a win in his second game as well? Against who?
Them Saints. He beat them Saints.
That was his first. That was his first game.
He went 1-3 as a starter.
Yeah, he went 1-3. That's his first game. That you just wanted to say that because the Saints. I got you, Jamar. Bro, you're gonna be back in that moderator stage next week. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
I'm coming with it, bro. Y'all see me?
No, but I say this to say Jalen Hurts is not the savior. I didn't look at Jalen Hurts and was like, oh my God, they finally got their future. I think that Jalen Hurts played well enough to make it a competition. I don't think that he just played so well to where Carson Wentz is just gone. I think that Carson Wentz had to leave because he wanted to, but I wasn't blown away by Jalen Hurts. So whoever the next coach is, yeah, I don't mind Carson Wentz being there because I do think that Carson Wentz is more talented. Do I think he's as good of a leader? No, but I think he's a better football player. So when I look at it, did Doug Pederson deserve to be fired? Yes, but at the same time, if I had to pick between Doug Pederson and Carson Wentz at this moment right now, I'm picking Carson Wentz. And if I had to pick between Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz, I don't know. It's not as cut and dry for me as it seems to be for you. But those two facts make me feel a little bit better about Carson Wentz being on the team.
See, the thing with me and Carson Wentz is I feel like we keep getting these rumors about him being combative as a player and not necessarily coachable. And so you have to take that into consideration too. If it's not working with the coach, it's just not working. And so you bring in another coach, who's to say it's going to work with them either. If Carson is the problem that divided the locker room, then Carson has to take the blame for that.
Yeah, and then another thing I want to say about Doug Pederson, there was things that he could have done to help Carson Wentz, such as maybe focusing and featuring Miles Sanders some more. And I understand you don't have to like Carson Wentz, but at the end of the day, he was your starting quarterback for about 3/4 of the season. You have to, whether you like him or not, I think he's a great player. He was there. And when you have your starting 11 on offense, your job as the head coach is to put them in the best positions. And I think that he put Jalen Hurts in better positions. Take out execution. He put Jalen Hurts in better positions than he put Carson Wentz in. And I think that that's something important to say when you're evaluating the performance of Carson Wentz as well.
Yeah, I think his hand was kind of forced to start Jalen Hurts. I think he tried to save Carson Wentz as long as he could, and then the pressure was on him to go ahead and start Jalen Hurts. And at that point, you have to switch up your scheme. But I see what you're saying, and I agree. He probably should have switched up the scheme a little bit for Carson Wentz to make him more successful.
And go ahead, Jamar, and we'll close it up.
I'll also say this. I'll kind of try to get everybody's opinions that kind of went there. But I'll say when it comes to Carson Wentz, I don't disagree that Carson Wentz is a better football player than Jalen Hurts right now. I believe on a different team, like say if Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz were competing against each other on a different tean, heck yeah, Carson Wentz is ahead of him on the depth chart right now. But just like we just discussed with Doug Pederson, we talked about the leadership in the locker room. I don't understand why that same connotation isn't put on Carson Wentz. The dude, y'all know I go off every time, but the Super Bowl, what happened? Nick Foles took the team as a leader, not because he was a better player. What happened with Nick Foles the other year? The same thing. The same thing we're talking about with Doug Pederson, the same thing with Carson Wentz. And when it comes to Doug Pederson and making that call with pulling Jalen Hurts, I don't think it was, man, I'm about to be out of here. You know what I'm saying? I think it was, I know I'm going to be here, so I'm going to get a better draft pick. Do I think it was right because of the development of Jalen Hurts? No. But I don't think Doug Pederson, as a coach that just won a Super Bowl in the beloved city of Philadelphia, would have lost the game on purpose if he was just saying, man, forget y'all. I don't believe that. But that's all I got.
Hey, one thing I'm going to say, money talks. And the Philadelphia Eagles had 100 million reasons to keep Carson Wentz. Once again, SOS Discussion, the gang with another banger. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share it with your mama, tell your mama's mama, and come back to SOS, Spot On Sports, where once again, we're not just accurate, we're spot on.